You know, my whole life, I have been a very just studious person. You know, I have questions about everything. And, everything that I don't understand is like a possible, subject for inquiry. And for most of my life, I've always wanted to share what I've learned. When I really get down to it, I don't understand why I feel that way, but as soon as I learn things, and especially if they are useful or like functional things that can improve your life, your body, your mind, I just felt the instant need to share it with people. Like I want to share. I want other people to feel better. I don't want people to feel any of the shortcomings I have felt when I lack that knowledge. So it's like I want to save them maybe from the turmoil, right? So I learn things and I like to share them. But the older I get, it has nothing to do with age, but as time goes by in this process of learning and wanting to share, I've come to realize that people don't really want to hear it. There are sometimes individuals, and I'll say that because it's really only a handful of people over 29 years that genuinely welcome the information, are grateful for the information, and most importantly, actually use the information. Because I don't really care if they're grateful. I'm just fulfilled as a person when someone uses something that I've given them or that I've taught them, and they feel better, they feel happier, they feel like they fixed something in their life, But I can see, and I've realized this, I can see how when you try to share things with people, they can take it the wrong way. And for a time, up until this recording, I was thinking, you know what? I'm not going to share things with people anymore, because if they're not the specific type of person that welcomes the information, they just get resentful, or they have some type of animosity, because they do get this idea of like, oh, he thinks he's better than me. Oh, he's trying to fix me. He's trying to say there's something wrong with me. So because I had that thought, I was like, I'm not going to share things with people anymore because, I don't want to deal with that. But then when I think about it, it's just me trying to people please. On both ends, I'm people pleasing, right? On one end, I'm people pleasing because I want people to feel better. Maybe a small piece of that is because I want them to like me, or it's some type of, protective measure. But the other hand is people pleasing because I just want them to be happier, sorry, no, that wasn't the point. The other reason why it's people pleasing is because I don't want them to be mad at me for sharing, right? But at the end of the day, in my mission on earth, I realize the reason why I have this compulsion at the root of it, underneath all of like the issues or whatever, people pleasing, is my compulsion is a part of my nature. It's a part of my essence, right? And for me to suppress that, or for me to kind of try to square it away in a box in the corner of the room, would be to betray myself. So I can't become the type of person that gets mad, that people aren't using my information, and then stop sharing it, because there are people that have been helped by me, and they have never forgotten it, and I've never forgotten it, and I feel so happy that I could have helped one person. So I realize that at the end of the day, it does not matter. If you have some type of like soul compulsion, or like a compulsion in your essence of the very being that you are, you have to share it with the world no matter what, even if it comes at the cost of people judging you or criticizing you, or projecting their own insecurities on you, onto you. Because at the end of the day, I never do these things because I'm judging or criticizing people, or I think poorly of them. It's because usually they're complaining to me about a problem and I have a solution for it. Now, I understand people are like, oh, they just want to vent, they just want to complain. And I know there's a place for that, and I leave that space open for them. But when I hear something 10, 20 times, that's the point where I, as a person, am like, listen, I have a solution. I know, but everyone meets things where they're at inside, right? And I've realized that too, because I wouldn't say my whole life, but at least in my recent life, 5 or 6 years, I have been very closed off. I've been distrustful. How would I put it? I've been a negative person. And it really comes down to the fact that because I spoke to myself so negatively and with so much judgment and criticism, that's the way I reacted to the world as well. And it's true what they say, like, you treat the world the same way that you treat yourself, right? People that are filled with joy and love and kindness, a lot of the time, I'll say most of the time, when it's genuine kindness and not like people pleasing, it's because they're kind to themselves, and they've learned to come to that point where they do love themselves. They are kind. They have patience with themselves, and because they have those qualities, they're able to share them. Well, my qualities were negativity, paranoia, distrust, and that's what I was able to share with the world. And sometimes there were some good things about it. Like, I know there are people that were way too trusting, and they did learn some balance in the sense of like, wow, like, yeah, there are some things I can pick up from you because you're so distrusting. But the more and more I mull it over, it could be useful, but it's not coming from the right place in the heart. That's really what I'm trying to say. So, coming back full circle, my essence compulsion was, is, and will be to learn new things. And I learned those new things to solve my own problems, and I want to share them with people so that people can solve their own problems and people can improve faster and better. Because if there's anything that human beings are, we are beings that learn things and share them so that everyone else benefits. And I think that's one of the most important and beautiful things about human beings, is that everyone is on top of everyone else's shoulders, and up until we peek through the clouds into the heavens. Like, everything I'm using today, the phone I'm using, the words I'm using, the ideas I'm using, come from other people who shared those technologies, those ideas, so that others could have their minds changed and to develop them further. I think at the core, at the the inner spirit of mankind is that driving factor. Yes, there's money and there's glory and all these other vain things, but at the end of the day, it's because I think deep down, a lot of us, we do have this love for humanity, and we want other people to improve on what we've done. It's like a legacy, our love for our people, So if you have these compulsions, you have these types of ideas, your compulsion might be that you love volunteering and doing community service, right? And maybe sometimes people have come at you like, why are you wasting so much time? You could be making money, all of those things. Well, if that's your essence compulsion, right? Something you love doing, it brings you joy, then you should do it, right? And if the joy you experience, if you have to pay for that joy with criticism, well, that's not that bad of a price, right? If me doing the things I love, say, like, I love music, I do want to play music, and I want to gig, and I want to tour, and I want to play in front of people, and I want to share my music. If me getting to do that wonderful, joyous activity comes at the cost, like I have to pay for it with people criticizing me, then when you frame it that way, and I just watched someone say that's why I got this idea. Mina Irfan, the universe guru, that price, that's not that bad of a price, right? If you frame it that way, it makes a lot more sense. It's a lot more powerful. Like, okay, I can do what I love forever. The only thing I have to pay is that I have to hear people's criticism. That's it, you have to hear words, and you don't even have to. You can kind of block it out, or you could come to a state internally where those things don't trigger you, those things don't bother you. So if what's stopping you from your dreams, we all have different things, but if what's stopping you from your dreams are like the opinions of other people, Well, then flip the script and say, all I have to do to get what I want most in this life is endure judgment and criticism and misunderstanding. It's not that bad. It's really not that bad. You actually be like, oh, this is kind of a cheap price to get what I want, right? Because you realize that those things, first of all, they can't really hurt you. Like, yes, it can hurt your emotions and like, but in reality, it's like these people aren't like out here like beating you up and physically harming you. And most of the time, like when people have criticisms like that in such a negative and like charged way, it's because they have their own issues, and you're triggering them. You're revealing things to them about themselves that they don't like, or that they wish they were you. They wish they were you, and they are mad at themselves because they're not doing what they want to do, so they have to take it out on you and break you down because they'll feel safe, right? If you're at their level again. Okay, I'm not alone. I'm not alone in my, my fear and mediocrity, So that's why people do it. Anyway, 11 minutes. I'm just trying to talk and rant, But anyway, I want to start doing the things that I love, and the things that I love doing are, like I said, sharing information, things that I've learned from so many different subjects and fields. Other thing is music. I want to sing and play music and share my riffs, my new songs with people, and not really give a fuck anymore about what it means or what it doesn't mean or whatever. Like, it just is. It's just my art. And whatever else I happen to, like, dream up, because I'm a creative person. So anyway, yeah, that's my rant for today.